Turning now to a brand new one-of-a-kind football academy in Khor Fakkan. And it's changing the face of sport in the enclave and raising the profile of the whole area. It's called Khaleej Football Academy. It's run by former professional footballer Sebastian Delfi, who is fast becoming the face of youth football in the Emirates. Basically, he teaches more than 100 Emirati students. They're now regularly competing against other teams in Dubai, and he's managed to bring on major brands as sponsors. We're talking about Noon, Namshi, Umbro. And in many ways, he's proving that even in an area of just 20,000 people, football dreams can really go big. Sebastian, thank you so much for joining me in the studio. It's a great pleasure to have you with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, it sounds like you're doing incredibly good work. Why did you choose the UAE? Why Khor Fakkan, for example, to launch your academy?
Well, firstly, with all thanks to God, UAE football is definitely number one in this country. And Khor Fakkan has so much potential, especially when I went to visit. I saw so many boys, just so much potential, but they just needed good guidance. And that's every footballer needs a good mentor. And I had that, fortunately, growing up. My father did so much for me, and I feel like I'm like an older brother to these boys here. And so I'm just doing the same thing as what my father did for me. For me to become a professional footballer, I'm doing it for these kids, but multiply that by over 100 kids. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, loads have joined up.
Yeah.
What type of children, ages, nationalities have you got in the academy?
Predominantly, my academy is Emirati. So I would say 98% is Emirati, and then 2% would be, from like Argentina, Slovakia, Slovenia, Dutch, and then all the boys come under one banner when it comes to football. So
it doesn't matter where you're from.
It doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you've got this ball. This is the only language that we know. So.
And how are they doing in the training? Are they, properly trying? Are they doing well? Are they rising up the ranks for youth football?
Well, look at it this way. A lot of these boys didn't have much background when it came to competition with football. I was the one that brought it to the city for the academy. Like, mine is pretty much the only academy, Khor Fakkan, and we're number one on the East Coast. We come regularly to competitions in Dubai. We're the only football academy on the East Coast of the UAE that participate in big competitions such as the YFL, the Mina Cup. And the boys are doing amazingly well. We have great results against big academies. At the end of the day, the match speaks for itself. How much the boys learn from my training, how much they listen to coach or whoever I bring on. They use all that, and then at the end of the day, you just have to put it all on the pitch. So yeah, the match speaks for itself. And my under 14s, they're third out of 18.
Brilliant.
Academies in Dubai. We're the only academy from the other side that's coming here. So all the academies are from Dubai. So everyone's wondering, where's Khor Fakkan? What is this Khor Fakkan? Because it's a small town, right?
Yeah.
So, and then, and with all thanks to God, I've become now with media, the face of UAE youth football. And I just really want to create the opportunities and futures of these footballers, give them a chance, because becoming a footballer is difficult.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that goes in it, not just on the pitch, physically, mentally, spiritually. And like I said before, it depends who your mentor is. And I've done it once myself, but I can do it again for all these boys. And all these boys place their trust in me. So it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it must feel good. And I can really see your passion for it. It's amazing. It's worth mentioning that I got in touch with Sebastian yesterday. He's been waiting for this interview for the last hour. Like he was so keen to be on time and to do the interview right that he's been listening to the show for the last hour in the green room. And it's, it's clear that you're not just treating this as a hobby for the kids, right? Like you're out there looking for the next great UAE footballer, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. It's, as I said, it's a way of life for me. And it's the only main thing that I knew growing up. Back in my school, back in Sydney, I grew up in Sydney. I was born in Sydney, Australia. And my whole high school, I don't even remember half my schooling because I was going back and forth with Europe playing football at the highest level. And I was very fortunate again. Because I had good coaches, good mentors. My father put so much into me. So He had faith in me. My coaches had faith in me. And I just did the hard work. And it was a lot of hard work, you know. And like I say to the boys, you know, football, it's not a rich man's sport. It's a poor man's sport, you know. And there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. And that's the facts.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
discipline.
and discipline. When you look at the greatest footballers in the world, my idol is Diego Maradona. You know, you look at their lives from where they came from. You know, the best thing I could tell you is, you know, 2 weeks ago, I gave a question to the boys, to all the students. My academy is from the age of 5 all the way up to the age of 15, 16. And I'm like, to the boys, I sat them all down, all the classes. I said to the boys, I'm like, look, I'm going to ask you a question, but you have to give me an honest answer. And I said, boys, put your hands up if you want to be a professional footballer. And they put their hands up. I'm like, okay, I'll ask you a second question, but I'll only give you 3 seconds to answer this, okay? I said, boys, keep your hands up if you want to be a professional footballer. I'm like, okay. I said, now, why do you want to be a professional footballer? No one had a reason. They all put their hands down. You see, the reason, like you said, it's a way of life, right? It's very deep, football. You need something. There's got to be something that separates you and the thousand of kids, like, you know, or else every coach just looks at every boy is like, okay, that's the same. Why do I need to get you from another country when I've already got 1,000 boys here, right? So I said to the boys, okay, like one boy said, I want to be like the GOAT Cristiano Ronaldo. I want to be like Messi. I'm like, okay, boys, I'll give you my answer. My answer was at the age of 12, because I was one of the youngest boys in Australia to get a scholarship in Bayern Munich. I traveled to Germany. And I said to boys, my reason for want to become a professional footballer was I wanted my father to stop working, and I wanted to buy my grandmother a house. This was my reason, right? And that's deep. But the boys, you know, it's nice, you know, yeah, you want to be like the GOAT, but you need something extra that drives you, not to push 100%, but 120%. And like the great Kobe Bryant said, the Mamba mentality, there's a difference between a player, doesn't matter basketball, whatever, there's a difference between a player that trains 3 times a week to the player that trains 4 times a week or 5 times a week. Of course there'll be a difference. The boy that's training 5 times a week is be better than maybe the boy, right? This is just the facts. But end of the day, it's that intrinsic motivation that you need inside. And that's what I'm trying to show the boys. It's not hard if they listen to me, you know, and with all thanks to God, they are. So, which is great. And that's why the results speak for themselves.
Well, this is the other thing. I mean, you've got these, you know, more than 100 young Emirati lads now, and you've managed to secure partnerships with some of the big brands. I mean, Noon, Namshi, Umbro. How did that come about, and how do they participate? Yeah,
with all thanks to God, you know, these brands, I never thought it would be like this, you know, and as I said, you know, my story, you know, or what I'm doing, it kind of, everyone can see this, what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to provide for the kids. It's, and we've had Umbro, we've Noon, Namshi, you know.
What was your latest one? You just,
can
you say it on the radio?
Just last week for the next season of 2025, 2026, I signed for 1 year with Puma Middle East.
And they'll basically be paying for the uniform. Is that what they do?
No.
They sponsor
I can't really
things.
maybe get into too much
Don't
detail.
worry,
Yeah,
okay,
that's all right.
sorry.
But they're going to be our partnership for all our apparel.
Amazing.
Clothes and, you know,
Very
balls
cool.
and everything. So
And there's some other stuff going on which you can't talk about.
God
which
willing,
is
yeah,
brilliant.
where there's a lot of fun stuff coming, so I can't really expose all my projects,
No,
but, you know.
well, that's going to be fun. Do you know, I have to say, I'm so impressed, Sebastian. It's been a great
Thank you so
pleasure
much.
to have you on the radio, to hear about your passion. And
Thank you
it
so
has to be
much.
said, the Khaleej Football Academy doing incredibly well up there. Putting Khor Fakkan on the map for more than one reason than one. So huge thanks there. Sebastian Delfi, we'll speak soon. I want to hear more about that deal when
Thank
it
you
comes
so
through.
much.
See
Thank you.
Download the ARN News Centre app and